You ever wonder why when you're watching certain movies you see people with great talents and abilities start using their gifts to do awful things throughout the movie? Well, it doesn't just happen in movies, guys. It happens in real life. And I want you to stay tuned to find out the number one reason why. Psalm 78:72 says, "So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart, and he guided them by the skillfulness of his hands." This particular scripture encompasses a difference between God's people and sinners, and it speaks on a bit of the differences between God and the enemy as well. Let's first take a look at the differences between God and the enemy. Based on the scripture here, there are two factors that come into play. The first one is a motivation or drive that comes from within, which is what the word heart in this scripture is referring to. The second is a set of skills that help bring about the true intent of the heart, which is what the word skillfulness is referring to. In other words, both God and the enemy have the ability to influence one's mind and actions. And as well, they have the cleverness and the competence and the strategy needed to do so. Now let's factor in the difference between God's people and sinners. The difference lies not within the skillfulness of the hands, but instead it's in the integrity of the heart. Or in other words, it's the motive behind how we use our skills. For example, someone can be an expert at chemistry with the ability to generate various medicinal solutions with ease, but instead, they use their skill set to generate illegal substances. A really good demonstration of this would be between world leaders and spiritual leaders. If you look at the world leaders today, you'll see that the skill set needed in order to hold set position is there. They have the education, the training, the critical thinking abilities, the leadership characteristics, the driven, future-oriented mindsets. All the leaders except maybe one. The problem now lies within what all these skills are put towards. Side note, we have to be so careful with how we use what God's given us. If we refer back to the scripture now, you'll be able to see how dangerous this can be for two reasons. The first reason being, this world is under the leadership of skillful men and skillful women who have motives instilled by the enemy, whether or not they know it, which means the majority of what we're being fed is twisted truths and pure lies. The second reason being, since the motives are evil, the guidance is off. John 10:10 states that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. This simply means that 9 times out of 10, with regards to the world, what we're being told and where we're being led is meant to accomplish these three things. In complete contrast, if you look at the spiritual leaders today who lead according to the gospel, you'll see again that the skill set is there as well. The knowledge and understanding of truth, the wisdom, the spiritual traits related to leadership, and the driven, salvation-based mindset. If we refer back to the scripture again, you'll see how beneficial this really is. Jeremiah 29:11 shows us the intent and motive behind God and his leadership. When it comes to his people, he only has thoughts of peace, not of evil, and of an expected end, which in other words means salvation. This means that with regards to Christianity, what we are being told and where we are being led is meant to deliver, keep, and save us. So there you have it, Seekers. You now know the number one reason Megatron had such great power that he used for evil was because his motives were evil. And the number one reason Optimus had such greater power that was used for good was because his motives were good. With that being said, Seekers, remember to regularly assess yourselves. Make sure your motives line up with the Lord's, and stay fierce. I'll see you next time.